My Thailand story with a Thai girl pretty much starts off like many others that find themselves in my position. You hear these stories all the time and think it will never happen to you. But once you are caught up with a bar girl, logic goes out of the window. It begins amazing, and then it ends with an empty wallet, a broken heart, and recently some threats about getting the police involved. I am 52, so I'm not the young, energy-filled guy I once was, but I still have some life left in me. I landed in Thailand for the first time back in September 2022, and like many guys on their first trip, I fell hard for the whole scene there. The people, the nightlife, the pace of it all, from going a bit mental on Khao San Road and the crazy nights on Bangla Road, to chilling in some beach hut on PP Islands, and I loved all of it. I ended up going back there 3 times in a year. That's how much I loved the place. So I'm there in September 2023 for a 2-week holiday, going solo this time, as previous times I went with a couple of friends. I planned on just staying in Bangkok this trip, doing nights out at the bars, but skipping Khao San Road, as I felt way too old for that kind of street now. The second night in, I'm bar hopping around and I end up at this place on Soi 4, not far from Nana Plaza, and that is when I see her. She was absolutely stunning. Slim, beautiful, proper Thai girl who just looked different from all the other girls I had seen that night. Yes, she looked a lot younger than me, but I didn't care then, as I didn't have plans on falling in love or anything stupid like that. I was just there for a good time, maybe a bit of company for the week, and nothing serious. I didn't want to waste any time, so I walked straight up to her, asked if she wanted a drink. After that, we start chatting and playing pool. Her English is pretty rough, but we managed with Google Translate. We were having fun, but it was a little weird that the mama-sans were hovering around us more than usual, keeping a close eye on things. But we were getting along great. We were there for maybe 6 or 7 drinks, just playing pool and talking. I asked her if she wanted to come with me and ask how much the bar fine was. She smiles and nods, but doesn't answer, probably waiting for the mama-san to handle it. And just like that, the mama-san jumps in straight away after hearing me mention a bar fine. She tells me she's new to the bar, then her and the girl start having this conversation in Thai. I'm pretty sure the mama-san was checking if she felt comfortable leaving with me, since she was fresh to all of this. The girl was laughing now, and clearly happy, and she said yes. The bar fine was 800 baht I think, but to be honest, I can't really remember the exact amount. What I do remember is working out through the mama-san that I'd sought the girl out with 5,000 baht. That was the deal that we settled on. We left the bar, and although I did not really want to go to Khao San Road, she really wanted to. But it was fine, as my hotel was close by anyway. The whole ride over, we are laughing, can't stop smiling at each other, having our first kiss, flirting with each other the entire way. She was a straight 10 out of 10, looks-wise. I know most guys will probably say that about a girl they have just met, but in my books, she really was, and her personality seemed just as good. She was really playful and fun to be with. I want to be completely honest. I came back to Thailand this time because I'd been hoping to find a proper long-term Thai partner, and this girl seemed to have everything I was after. Every single box was getting ticked from the moment that I met her. I'm asking her tons of questions, and over the first hour, she's telling me she'd just started working at the bar. I know now that's the standard line they all use, but at the time, I believed it. And with the way the mama-san was watching over us in the bar, it made me believe it even more. She said she moved down from Isan to Bangkok to make money for her family back home. She had no boyfriend and no kids. Told me she was 24 and her birthday was coming up soon. We had an incredible night on Khao San Road, one of the best I've ever had. And then we got back to the hotel and things went absolutely mental until the sun was coming up. Next morning, or really the afternoon by that point, we are lying there eating food together, still chatting away through Google Translate, and I'm really loving every minute with her. I have met girls on my previous trips to Thailand, and although I have had a lot of fun being with them, they didn't even compare to the fun I was having with this one. I gave her 5,000 baht, as I thought that she would be wanting to leave soon to go and get ready for work. I told her through the translator that her money was there. She's really happy about it, takes it, puts it in her bag, but here's the thing, she doesn't get dressed or try to leave. Now, the night before, when I was a little bit worse for wear with the amount I had drunk, I told her I was looking for a girlfriend. Way too early to be saying that kind of thing, I know that now, but I wasn't thinking straight, I guess, and felt like we had this real connection. That is what made me tell her. Anyway, she's still lying with me, and we're still getting on brilliantly, talking about everything that happened the night before. She keeps thanking me over and over because I'd brought her some bits. Shoes, clothes, little presents for her family, stuff like that. I've always been a generous person, and that's just how I am. It wasn't expensive stuff from the mall. It was those cheap little vendors around Khao San Road, so I wasn't exactly spending big on her, but it was nice to spoil her just a little bit. On our way back to the hotel, every time we passed a shop or a market stall, I'd stop and ask if she wanted something, or I'd tell her to try things on, and if she liked them, I'd buy them for her. Just kept doing that all night. While we are talking, I bring up this island just off Pattaya, telling her I went last year and it was incredible. She says she's never been to an island before and gets properly excited about it. I tell her I'll cover everything, flights, hotel, bar fine, the lot, and I'll sort her out some money as well. We didn't nail down an exact amount for her because at that point we had no idea how many days we'd end up staying, so we just left that part open. She seemed so excited about it all. She kept saying thank you and hugging me. She stayed again that night, and we went to Khao San Road for a bit, but we were both extremely tired from the night before, so we went back to the hotel early. The next day, we went to her bar so she could sort out our trip to the island, and after she had arranged it all with the mama-san and the bar fines were paid, we took a taxi to Pattaya and then took a boat over to the island. We spent 3 brilliant days there. The weather was perfect, and we spent most of the time on the beach getting absolutely smashed with the locals, just having the time of our lives. While we were there, I'm buying her more stuff, hats, trainers, bikinis, whatever caught her eye. She'd see something and I'd just buy it without even thinking. After the 3 days, we head back to Bangkok and back to my hotel. We were planning to meet up again later that night for her birthday. I'd already paid the bar fine, so she leaves to go back to her room. That was the first time we'd been apart since we met. I gave her about 1,000 baht for a taxi and whatever else she might need before we see each other later. We agreed to meet at her bar that evening and leave together at the end of the night. She tells me she won't go anywhere near another customer while she waits for me, which makes me feel really good about the whole thing. Being the sucker that I am, I go out shopping and pick up an expensive bag with a matching purse for her birthday present. And when I get to the bar, there she is, waiting for me by herself. She was over the moon with the bag that I got her for her birthday, and now I'm properly falling for her, no question about it. I was believing everything she said to me, and I convinced myself that I could actually make it work with her. We stay at her bar most of the night. She didn't want to leave straight away because when it's a girl's birthday in the bar, they wear this thing around their neck where people staple money to it, and by the looks of things, it's a big money maker. Later on, she wants to head to another bar where some of her friends work because they are going to buy her drinks and give her money as well. So we leave and make our way over to the other place. We end up staying there for quite a while, and I notice this other girl who's been chatting with my girl all night. She was very cute too, and I've had a bit to drink at this point, so I ask my girl if her friend wants to join us if I bar find her as well. She laughs and tells her friend what I just asked. They are both laughing and talking in Thai for a bit, but from their body language and the way they are acting, it's pretty clear she's fine with it and they both seem up for it. I've talked to the girl and we work out 4,000 baht and 800 for the bar fee. We stick around and play pool together for a bit, the three of us flirting and messing around, and then we leave and head back. My girl seems completely fine with everything that's happening, but when things actually start getting going, she gets up and goes to the bathroom, so I just continue with the second girl. She comes back in and I can see it all over her face. She is not happy at all. Up until that moment, everything seemed fine. I stop what I'm doing and it just gets really awkward. The other girl, she can tell us something's wrong too. Nobody's arguing or anything, it's just this weird, uncomfortable atmosphere in the room. Oh, and also I'd booked 3 flights for all of us to go to Phuket the next night while I was hammered. Anyway, we have maybe one more drink and I give the second girl 4,000 baht, and then my girl, she says she's leaving too. I can tell she's angry now and just wants to get out of there, so I gave her whatever cash I had left on me. Probably handed her another 2,000 baht or something. I wasn't really counting. She leaves with the other girl, and I'm thinking they are going home together. I send her a message saying, "Look, I asked you if you were okay with this. I wouldn't have done it if you had said no." And then I just fall asleep because I'm beat. I wake up about an hour or two later to all of these messages and photos of her looking miserable, still at the bar drinking. She's messaging me all upset, saying that I don't want her. I explain again that the other girl was just a bit of fun, and I only did it because I asked her first and thought she was alright with it. She agrees to come back, but brings this older friend with her, someone who apparently took care of her when she first moved to Bangkok. The 3 of us go out for food, and her friend helps translate and explain things properly. I tell her again that I did ask, and if she didn't want it to happen, all she had to do was say no, and it would never have gone down like that. Anyway, we talk it through and sort things out between us. We decide to still go to Phuket, but just the 2 of us, and not with her friend. Phuket was honestly another one of the best times of my life. I'd never done the island thing properly out there, and it was just unreal. We did 2 private boat trips around different islands, drinking all day, making me eat random food, messing about on paddle boards, just absolutely incredible days that I will remember forever. We even stayed right next to the beach on PP Island, in this hut-style place, and those 5 days felt like something out of a dream. We are talking way more now about the future, what we both want out of our life, and telling each other that we love each other. At this point, we are properly together, boyfriend and girlfriend. She promises me that when I go back to the UK, she won't go with other customers, just stick to drinking and playing pool at the bar. We kept talking and start making actual plans for our future. I tell her I'll come back after Christmas and we'll go up to Isan together so I can meet her family. We get back to Bangkok and spend a couple more nights there before I fly home. It's been this crazy holiday romance, and we both feel like we are properly in love with each other. All of this after only 14 nights together. I met her on day 2 and spent every single day with her after that. She comes with me in the taxi to the airport, where I give her about 10,000 baht and we say our goodbyes. The whole time we were together, she never asked me for daily money. I was just paying the bar fines and covering everything else. Food, drinks, shopping, all of that. I fly back home and we are messaging and calling each other as much as we can. At the start, she's video calling me what felt like every 30 minutes, keeping me up to date with what's going on in her life, showing me she's just playing pool and having drinks with customers. It was hard to deal with, but I accepted it because that was her job before I came along. And until I could get her out of that situation, I didn't really have a leg to stand on. At least, the constant contact made me feel better about it. And I would send her money every few days whenever she needed it. Then one night, she tells me she's been having problems with other girls at her bar. Says it's because they are older than her and she's making more money from lady drinks, which annoys them and makes them jealous. It seemed reasonable enough to me, since she was easily the best looking girl working there, so I believed her. And through all of this, I had no reason not to trust what she was actually telling me. She was really upset, telling me she'll have nowhere to live if she quits the bar because she's staying in a room just above it. But apparently the girls are making her life hell. So she comes up with the idea of getting her friend to move down and work with her. Then they can get an apartment together and split the rent. The only problem is she'll need a deposit and a month's rent up front because her friend won't have any work lined up yet when she arrives. After we talk about it and look at some places, I agree to send her 25,000 baht up front to cover the deposit and a couple of months' rent. Her friend moves down from Isan and they start working together at a new bar away from all of the other girls. Everything seems good at first, and she was still keeping in touch with me, but it just wasn't as much as before. She tells me it's because this new bar is way busier and the mama-san doesn't let the girls have their phones out. She makes them put them in a basket by the till. She still calls me when she's at work, but only when she goes to the toilet, maybe every hour or two. It's never at the table with customers or by the pool table, though they're always out on the street or in the bathroom. A few weeks go by and she starts mentioning in her messages that her phone is getting really hot. I didn't really think much of it or understand why she keeps bringing it up. Then one day, she's on video call with me while she is walking to work and she says the phone is really hot again. She says she will let it cool down once she gets there and call me back soon. A couple of hours go by and nothing. I'm messaging her, calling her, no response at all. After about 4 or 5 hours, my mind started racing. I'm thinking either someone's offered her a load of cash to go with them and she's taking it, or maybe she's been in an accident or something. I couldn't come up with any other reason why she'd ignore me like that out of nowhere. One day goes by, then 2, 3, 4 days with absolutely zero contact. I've sent her probably 30 messages and called God knows how many times. No answer. The phone just keeps ringing out, but my messages are being delivered, so I know that the phone is on. I'm losing my mind with worry and at the same time gutted that she could just blank me like this. I contacted her old friend from the previous bar, asking had she heard from her, and explained what had happened. Her ex-friend tells me she is on an island with another man from Singapore that she had met before me. I was devastated that she could do this to me. Her friend finds a picture of them together on the island and sends it to me for proof. That's why she kept going on about her phone being hot in the days before, setting up the lie so she could tell me it had been in the shop getting fixed, and that's exactly what happened. She video calls me out of nowhere, full of apologies, telling me she just got her phone back from the repair shop. I confront her straight away and send her the picture of her with this bloke. The look on her face was absolutely priceless. She's totally confused, can't work out how I've got this photo or how I knew about them. She started getting upset, and so did I, thinking about everything I've done for her. She starts telling me about this guy while she's sitting in the apartment I'm paying for. She says they met before she knew me, but he was just a friend. He had a wife and kids, and they never did anything together. I was an idiot to believe any of it, but I still loved her and she looked so upset while telling me. Looking back now, I know she was just acting the whole time. We are talking about all the stuff we've discussed before. Marriage, children, our whole future together. I ask her if it was all BS. She makes me believe it was real, that she genuinely wanted all of it, and she just felt bad for this guy because he'd already booked his trip to see her before we met. I didn't know what to believe. All I wanted was for her to be straight with me, and she's saying exactly what I need to hear. I should have walked away the second I found out about this other bloke, but I didn't. It turns out later it wasn't just him either. Things get messier from here. Her ex-friend also drops another secret on me. She's already married to some guy from Isan who knows what she does for work and just expects her to send him money while she is working. When I ask her about it, she admits it's true, but says it wasn't a real wedding and she has split up with her husband. When I ask her about it, she admits it's true, but says she's split up with her husband, planning to divorce him, and doesn't send him any money anymore. So obviously, my head is all over the place at this point. She's telling me how sorry she is, saying everything we planned is still real, and she only wants to be with me. Now, that picture her ex-friend sent to me of the Singapore guy came from Facebook. I deleted my account years ago after things went south with my son's mum, like 11 years back, so I hadn't used Facebook in forever. But after all of this, I made a new account just to follow her and keep tabs on what's actually going on. We put ourselves into the type of relationship that I was comfortable with, making sure she was not lying about what she was telling me. Her family and her friends added me on Facebook, and it seemed to be all real and totally genuine. So, at this point again, we are talking again like we did when we first got together, but the bar work is still eating away at me. I know how these places work. When you buy a girl a drink, she's expected to sit with you, get a bit touchy, flirt, and all of that. That's just how the bars work over there. Even though she's telling me she's just drinking and playing pool, my head's telling me there's more going on than that, even if she's not actually leaving with customers. I just can't accept her drinking with other men anymore. After her antics, mistrust is definitely playing a big part now. In the past, when we spoke about our future, she had asked me to pay for her family home to be finished. She said it would be around 400,000 baht. She also mentioned a sinsad, which is a separate payment, but I would need to discuss this with her father. Another week goes by with us talking back and forth. She seems happy to make me feel better about things by quitting the bar and going back home, but she wants me to visit her family home first. So, I book more flights and I'm back in Bangkok in November 2023. I send her money to hire a car so she can pick me up from the airport, and we drive all the way to Isan. Long drive, but totally worth it. I got to see parts of Thailand you wouldn't normally see as a tourist. It's a beautiful place. Even after everything that's happened, I'd still love to retire there one day. We get to her place and I meet her family, her mum, her dad, brothers and sisters. I'd paid for a room nearby because I didn't want to be sleeping with their daughter in their house the first time I'm meeting them. We spent 4 days with her family, and it was really nice meeting everyone, her friends too. I'd even bought them a pool table for the house and had it delivered before we got there. We all had a great time, and the family seemed really happy to meet me, and her father seemed fine with me being with his daughter despite the age difference. While we were there, we sit down with the family and talk money. I agreed to pay 400,000 baht to finish building their house, plus another 200,000 for the sinsad. I'd never done anything like this before. I was either being naive or just plain stupid. Probably plain stupid. I agreed to send the money for the house before Christmas. I wish I'd never said that, because we weren't even planning to get married until February or March sometime. We head back to Bangkok, say our goodbyes, and I fly home. I only stayed a week this time. Things go back to the way they were, talking loads, and I'm still sending her money whenever she needs it. A few weeks pass and I start noticing stuff on her Facebook again, things involving other men. She's always online, but not replying to me, telling me she fell asleep. Just loads of things that aren't adding up. Maybe I was being paranoid, but I had every reason to be after what already happened. Whenever I question her about my suspicion or bring up concerns, she gets really defensive. Tells me she's done everything to make me comfortable and won't explain anything else about it. She'd flip it around and make me feel like I'm the one in the wrong for even asking about these blokes all over Facebook, when all I have done is take care of her. Now, I'm definitely worried about what's going to happen once I send over 400,000 baht for her family's house. My own family and friends know what's going on, and they are telling me to wait until we are actually married before sending any type of money. They are reminding me that I've only known this girl for less than 3 months. I'm doubting her even more now, so I suggest we get married sooner and I'll send the money on the wedding day. She really doesn't like that idea at all. This goes on for a few more weeks, us arguing back and forth about what I'm going to do. Christmas rolls around and she's asking where the money is. I tell her I want to wait, that I will book flights for January and we'll get married then. I tell her I'm looking at coming over around the 15th. She gets angry again, calling me a bad man for not sending the money. She says I've embarrassed the family because all the neighbours and everyone knows I was supposed to send money to build the house. I'm thinking to myself, I couldn't give a damn what anyone else thinks. I get that status matters to some people over there, but it doesn't mean anything to me. So I stuck to my guns and tell her again, I'm not sending money until we are married. A day or two before the new year, she tells me she's having a party with her family and friends that night, and she won't be talking to me. She says she doesn't have to make me feel comfortable anymore since I did not send the money. I didn't hear from her for 3 days, and I'm going crazy worrying about who she is with. I'm messaging people trying to find out where she is. Some bloke even messages me showing me their conversation where he's telling her he's picking her up and they are going out for drinks. I'm completely broken now, an absolute mess. I'm sending her messages, crying like an idiot. I'm starting to realise that it was all BS from the very beginning. She just clocked on that I was a generous guy and wanted my money. There was never going to be any marriage. I do regret posting some stuff about her on Facebook for her family and friends to see, but I was hurting and acted on my emotions, I guess. And then, after that, she starts threatening me, saying she'll get me blacklisted from Thailand. I don't even know if that's possible, but she's telling me I'll get arrested if I try and enter the country. When I add it all up, I sent over about 300,000 baht in 3 months, just in transfers while I was back in the UK. God knows how much I spent when I was actually with her on those 2 trips, plus another 42,000 on gold she had in a pawn shop. If any of it was real, all she had to do was wait 2 weeks for me to come back. We get married and I send the money to the family, and we can live happily ever after. I'm so glad I decided to wait on sending that big chunk of money, because now I know it was all about money. There was no feelings involved her side. I never heard from her again after that, but I found out she went back to working at the same bar. So yeah, that's my story with a bar girl. I'm planning to go back to Thailand soon, but I definitely won't be falling in love that fast again. If I do meet someone to be a proper life partner, she'll be from some small village, nowhere near the bars, and hopefully has never been involved in that type of life.